Good evening, everyone. My microphone is on. I'm going to call the regular meeting of the Nevada City Council to order. Today is Wednesday, April 26, 2023, and it is now 6:30 p.m. I would like to read our Nisenan tribal recognition. We acknowledge that the Nisenan people are still here among us today, though nearly invisible. We understand that we are on Nisenan land that was never ceded, and the original tribal families have yet to recover from the near genocide of their people. As a resident or visitor in Nisenan land, we support the Nevada City Rancheria Nisenan tribe in efforts to stabilize their people, as well as their campaign to restore federal recognition. Gary, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
See if I remember. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would like to note that Mayor Fleming will not be in attendance this evening, and that Keith Collins from the City Attorney's Office is joining via Zoom. Hi, Keith. With that, Madam Deputy Clerk, will you please do a roll call for us?
Well, Councilmember Ceci?
Here.
Councilmember Klein?
Here.
Councilmember Peterson?
Here.
And Vice Mayor Fernandez?
Here. Right. I'm putting my phone on Do Not Disturb. Next, we're going to move on to the adoption of the agenda. Council, now is the time for any agenda modifications. Would anybody like to make any changes to the agenda, pull consent items, or do we have any recusals to announce?
I'm here.
All right, I'm not hearing any, so I'm looking for a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. To adopt the agenda.
I move we adopt the agenda.
Second.
Great. We have a motion by Councilmember Klein and a second by Councilmember Ceci. Those in favor?
Aye.
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 Great. Motion carries for nothing. All right. Next, we have some presentations. I would like to invite our city manager, Sean Grayson, to the podium for an memoriam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have, thank you, Madam Vice Mayor, Burl Robinson's son Dave and other family members, if you'd like to come on up here so that people more pretty than me like you are on camera. As you mentioned at your last council meeting, Burl Robinson had passed away, and his son is here with us tonight, and the very smallest token that we could provide as a city, an in memoriam. But I would note that it's the first one that's been done in quite a while in the city. So if there's anybody to do it for, to get the tradition back into place, it's wonderful that it would be for him. So with your indulgence, Madam Mayor, I'll read the in memoriam, and then I would love the family to share any words that they have and answer any questions that you might have. In memoriam, honoring the life of Burl P. Robinson Jr. Burl P. Robinson Jr. passed away peacefully at his home with his loving wife Betty and their family by his side on April 12, 2023. He was 87 years old. Born in Mrs. Watson Sanitarium in Nevada City, September 13, 1935, Robinson was raised in Nevada City, attending Nevada City High School on Zion Street. He left only to attend the University of California at Berkeley, where he received a bachelor's degree in business administration in 1957. Robinson returned home to run the family business, a Richfield gas station, which was subsequently leveled during the construction of our Golden Center Freeway in the 1960s. He was elected to the city council for a short stint before finding his career-long calling when he was selected to be the city manager on June 21st, 1965. He was a diligent protector of the city's history, responsible for preserving many buildings and delivering the city's historical district ordinance. The results of his efforts could fill several volumes. A small list of his legacy in action includes enticing the Grass Valley Group to locate in Nevada City. They were previously out on Bidney Springs Road. The construction of the Commercial Street parking lot, which was, for those that were around, a whole endeavor to get the land and find the money and build the parking lot. The building of the new South Pine Street Bridge, the building of the Narrow Gauge Railroad Museum, the construction of the new firehouse on Province Mine Road, and the renovation of the city hall that we stand in. His successes were attributed to his love of his hometown, his can-do attitude, and his tenacity. He retired after 37 years of service as the city manager in 2002, as the longest-serving city manager in the state of California at the time. Robinson Plaza and the city council chambers that we are in right now are named for Burl P. Robinson Jr. In a city whose history includes titans of service and industry across 3 centuries, Burl Robinson sits atop them all as a consummate public servant and hometown hero. The flags of Nevada City were ordered to have staff from Robinson's death until his memorial, which is this Saturday, April 29th, 2023. Fittingly, one of those flags flies in Robinson Plaza above the plaque placed there by the City Council of Nevada City in 1999 to honor Robinson's incredible achievements. The plaque ends with the statement, "Burl has brought a sense of commitment and purpose to his life matched by few and bettered by none." With this in memoriam, the City Council of Nevada City 2023 once again honors the legacy of Burl P. Robinson Jr. Dated the 26th day of April 2023, it's signed by the entire City Council. Love to give this to you and the family, and would appreciate any words you might have for the council, and there's people taking pictures. Always pictures.
I'll say a few words if I got a minute.
Yes, please.
Unfortunately, last time I was in this council chamber was my dad's very last meeting here. I came here to honor him during that. And I'll tell you a short story if I have 5 minutes, just because I have to tell them now. My dad can no longer tell them. One of the stories he liked to tell was about the Pelton wheel. It was before the early 80s, I would say, early mid 80s, before the, when he sat in the front office there and, the city treasurer was up there with him and everything, and city clerk or whatever. At any rate, gets a phone call from PG&E. Burl, we got this Pelton wheel. We're taking it out of the drum plant. For you guys that don't know where Drum is, it's going up off 80, about 10 miles east of Colfax. Any rate, we got it loaded on a truck. We're taking it down to Oakland to have it melted down. But I heard you guys, the city, might want a Pelton wheel. And he goes, well, heck yeah, we want a Pelton wheel. Bring it here. And they said, well, this thing's pretty large. You got to have a way to unload it. We'll get the truck there if you guys can figure out how to unload it. At any rate, the truck's moving. They're pulling out. And I would say I have ridden on my bicycle to the drum plant, so it's ways off 80. I would say it'd probably take about an hour from the time he leaves the drum plant to be hitting Auburn with a loaded semi. My dad gets right on the phone, calls Robinson Enterprises. Him and Lowell were good business partners. No relation, same last name, but no relation. And Lowell, we need a crane. We got to unload a Pelton wheel. Well, his biggest crane was out on a job, but they got 2 or 3. They had a smaller one. And he goes, yeah, we'll get one down there. Where are we meeting? Well, down, where the Shell station was on Union Street. Says, have the crane down there, truck's coming. So the PG&E, they radio this guy, I guess they have CBE radios, whatever kind of radio they had. Anyway, driver's pissed. It's Friday afternoon, and he's got personal business lined up, a date or whatever in Oakland, where, after he drops a Pelton wheel. Well, now he's being diverted to Nevada City. So he drives down Auburn, and I guess the PG&E guys had to kind of argue with the guy. They said, you're going to Nevada City. So he gets up here, pissed off, very visibly pissed off, and the public works guys are down there. And at any rate, their crane, they get some chains on it. Well, the thing's so heavy, I think it says it's like 15 tons. So what's that, 30,000 pounds? At any rate, they couldn't quite lift it off. Driver's very pissed. He's being very vocal about it, and he says, you guys can't get this thing off. I'm chaining it back down, and I'm out of here. At any rate, I don't know if any of you guys remember George Nelson. He was Public Works. He always wear bib overalls and had no teeth. And always, when he's working for the city, he always wore a hard hat. I figured that way he'd probably never lose it. And the nicest man in the world. I knew him very well as a friend. Really nice guy. And for a guy that worked with a bunch of roughnecks all his life, he never cussed or anything, and he's a very nice guy. Anyway, he comes down, and he worked in the logging industry a lot, you know, with the cats setting chokers and stuff like that. Well, he rigged it, got the chains all, so they're distributing the weight equally, and they's just able to lift that wheel about 4 inches off the flatbed. And the driver, it ain't no more than lifted it, and he's out. He was pissed, he's out. Anyway, so they're all kind of looking around, and they asked my dad, well, where in the heck are we supposed to put it? They can't move it. He goes, put it in the middle of the street. And they, well, what do we, this is Union Street, what's it, 200 yards long? And he goes, well, then call the cop, the police department, put up some barricades, and the thing's gonna sit here overnight. He goes, if people can't get around town without going down Union Street, then, they'll figure it out. Just barricade the damn road off, and that's what they did until they got some bigger cats or cranes and moved it to its present location, which happens to be Robinson Plaza. So that's a 5-minute version of it. Thank you, you guys. And I'll get this to Betty. She'll appreciate it.
Thank you so much for that story. That was really great. Okay, next we have a presentation for the grand opening of Espiritu Art Gallery Cafe. If those folks will please join me at the podium.
Paola and Christian.
Hi, you guys. Great. We're gonna stand here, and if you'd like to introduce yourselves, please.
I'm Paula Madariaga de Cebalcusa from Chile. I have lived here for almost 10 years. and I'm very happy to open now a business. Thank you.
Good.
Hi, my name is Christian Yavar. I'm Paula's husband. I'm just helping her in what I can. She is the main character and boss.
She's the boss? Great. Got it. So this is honoring the grand opening and ribbon cutting of Espiritu Gallery Art Cafe. Whereas business initiation, development, growth, and expansion are important threads that bind strong communities, and Espiritu Art Gallery Cafe is open for business at 426 Broad Street. And whereas Espiritu Art Gallery Cafe is a new business but continues the long tradition of a cafe and art presence at the location in the historic downtown. And whereas Paula Medek is owner of Espiritu Art Gallery Cafe, and whereas Paula notes that my inspiration to create Espiritu Art Gallery Cafe was rooted in the desire to have a friendly, warm, and peaceful place where my inspirational art, as well as other artist creations, could be exhibited for people to enjoy. And I wanted a place that enriched and fed people's creativity by painting or looking at beautiful art while having delicious food and drinks. Visitors can uplift their energy and inner peace by making art an extraordinary tool for people to relax in their modern lives. Espiritu Art is a place to feed the soul, body, soul, and mind. And whereas a grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony will be held at Espiritu Art Gallery Cafe on this Saturday, April 29th, 2023 at 2 p.m. And whereas the grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony will be an opportunity for the city, community, visitors, and other businesses to visit and enjoy Espiritu Gallery Cafe. And whereas the City Council and the City of Nevada City wish to recognize and applaud business investors in our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Nevada City does hereby honor the opening of Espiritu Art Gallery Cafe and urges those who visit, live, work, and play in Nevada City to eat and shop local by patronizing Espiritu Art Gallery Cafe and all of our Nevada City businesses, and by attending the grand opening and ribbon cutting ceremony on April 29th, 2023.
Yep. Glamour shot.
With the boss.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that was a long new way of doing that, huh? Next, we have a proclamation of the 54th Annual Municipal Clerks Week, April 30th through May 6, 2023. Take it away, Sean Grayson.
Awesome. So we're privileged in this city to have two different types of clerks. We have a publicly elected clerk, Neil, who is not with us for Nix and Nax this evening, but and then we also have a deputy city clerk, which in California they refer to as a professional municipal clerk. That is not all that Gabby does. She does a myriad of other things, as you know. Everyone here wears a lot of hats, but just like to recognize this, and with your permission, I'll read the proclamation. It's whereas the office of professional municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of professional municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants. So before city council members, there were city clerks. Before mayors, there were clerks, because someone had to, keep the roll of everything. The office of the professional municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and the agencies of government at other levels. Whereas professional municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. I think Gabby put those words in there, so I'd have to read them. Whereas the professional municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. And whereas the professional municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the professional municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. And whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the professional municipal clerk, in this case, our deputy city clerk, Gabrielle Christakis. Gabby. Now therefore be it resolved that the City Council of the City of Nevada City hereby proclaim the week of April 30th through May 6, 2023 as Professional Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend their appreciation to our professional municipal clerk, Gabby, and to all professional municipal clerks for their vital service they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. And I'll give this, Gabby had to put the seal on it herself because she's the clerk. I give this to Gabby.
Well, thank you.
Gabby, you're my favorite professional municipal clerk.
Thank you. And
Yes, I know. I'm your favorite also.
Favorite kid is.
And also, seriously, thank you for all you do around here. Your presence is very felt, and your positive, fun energy is, I'm just so grateful for it personally.
thank you. It's my pleasure to work with you guys.
Great.
Serve you guys.
Any other thoughts
Yeah.
or comments towards
Definitely,
Gabby?
definitely. Over the course of my checkered career, I've had the pleasure of working with many, many clerks. I think the important piece is to understand that clerks, the reason they existed before elected officials and that they came with the Europeans is record keeping and history. Somebody had to keep track of the land. Somebody had to keep track of the records. And the keepers of the history of our city are our city clerks. And it's perhaps in some ways the most important thing they do. And over the years, we've of course placed many, many undue burdens on them, including elections. And I certainly know when I ran for election, I could not have succeeded in doing what I did without the support of Gabby, who was really, really helpful and really useful. So you are not only a great clerk, you're a great representative of a very long tradition in this country. And thank you for your work and your support.
Thank you.
Yay. Top that, Adam.
I won't. Gabby, I met you when I was going to be a candidate for this office, and I was told ahead of time, oh, you'll like Gabby. It's the truest thing I've heard in my political career.
Thank you, madam.
For all you do.
Thank you.
Also, I would like to echo those comments and say that you made it easy for a man who was like wide-eyed looking at all those forms going, I have to fill out what? Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, and where's your 700?
Thank you, Gabby. All right, next we're going to move on to public comment. Government Code Section 54954.3 provides that any member of the public may address the city council on any matter not on the agenda that is within the subject matter jurisdiction of the city. The Brown Act, with limited exceptions, does not allow the council or staff to discuss issues brought forth under public comment. The council cannot take action on non-agenda items. Concerns may be referred to staff or placed on a future agenda. Please note that comments from the public will also be taken on each agenda item at the time it is heard. Do we have any public comment in the room on items not on the agenda? Come on up, Andre. Welcome.
So I have a public comment, actually, about her, and it's a brief story. So when I first started coming to council meetings, I got a great degree of, well, not a great degree, there were two people, basically, that made some comments about my hygiene and what was I doing here and all this sort of stuff. And there was a motion to bar me for a period of time under Katrina, when she was city manager. Being that I'm a former law student, I happen to know that this is illegal. So what I did is I tricked them. Basically, I got a friend who has an email account, lives down the road, does social services for homeless people, and I composed a letter saying, how can I help that pitiful Andre? I understand this person's been barred from city council meetings, and we want to buy some clothes for the person. Would we need to buy these clothes, or could we just launder what the person has? This I learned from my incredibly talented attorney. Although I was a law student myself, I don't have the skills of Susan Love, who told me always get stuff in writing. So that is what I did, and they replied with a big city seal stating that I would have to buy all new clothes, with which there was a thing that was taken to the California Supreme Court about people with poor hygiene riding the bus. The man who sued Sacramento and went all the way to District 9 won. And so basically it's case law. I already know this before I ever moved to this town. So the reason basically, and given the fact that I know Greg as well as I do, I probably could have gotten all this pro bono, and certainly through the ACLU. But the biggest reason I did not decide to file a lawsuit is you don't want to be like a jerk in a small town, and her. Because Renette was already out of here, who I was friends with, and she did say, oh, well, if you sue them, the whole town will be shut down. There won't be a town. It'll be absorbed by the county. But I didn't do it for the sake of her. Largely, it was this woman right here, who has always been good to me and is just an absolute joy to everyone and to the whole town. So thank you, madame. And we're all going to celebrate, have party hats and blow ticklers on the week we're going to celebrate you. There is my story for the evening. Y'all continue and have fun.
Thank you, Andre.
Awesome. Thank you, Andre. Great story. I wasn't sure you were going to bring it back around, but you did. You brought it back around. Any other public comment on items not on the agenda? Hello, Diana. Judith, please join us. Welcome.
Thank you. Judith Lowry, Nevada City. Good evening, good people of the City Council here. I brought this material to give to Mayor Fleming because, can you hear me? I brought this material for Mayor Fleming because I wanted him to have a chance to peruse it before our meeting. I think we're still meeting on Friday, and I have a lot of information to impart. First, I'd like you to know that just don't let my looks fool you. I am a one-quarter California Indian, primarily Mountain Maidu, two bands of the Pit River, and then trace elements of Modoc, Pit River, Paiute, and Washoe. So I know my family lineage going back quite a ways. My dad was a good history keeper. We have good oral history, and Lassen County has kept good track. When I first came here, my dad, he asked me what tribe lives there, what families are there, because he was always interested. And oftentimes, when I lived in Humboldt, he would come up and visit with old boarding school friends of him. He went to Fort Bidwell when he was little, and then he went to Sherman Indian Institute in Riverside, where he completed his education and went into the military, into World War II. And he retired as a military officer. He was a colonel. And when the colonel says, get me the information, you just go do it. It took me forever to find out about Chief Kelly, because the Sayacum Corporation was already here and operating. And these are my people. I know these people. And I knew Farrell Cunningham, who was, I would say, being used as a propagandist. And he passed away when he was only 39 because of, I think, the stress, which he turned to things that he shouldn't have turned to. And our people had set limits with him. And my cousin Warren Gorbett had to fire him from teaching the children our culture because he was coming in unacceptable condition. I respect and love Farrell, but the way he went. And so I realized that there were two groups vying for primacy in this community. I now know that they're supported by a massive engine. It's huge. It's bigger than me. I can't do anything about it. You're on the road to a casino, but hey, you're going to get a mine too, right? It looks like we're going to get a gold mine. So what we have to do and get used to is that people are going to move in and do what they want to do. And if the right people want this done, there's nothing we can do. So I'm so sorry I failed you, because I was really hoping that I could turn this around. But now there's three groups vying for primacy, and that would be the Sayacum group, the Covert family, and the Kelly Enos family, who are the true original inhabitants. Rose is the only person who's actually alive that's lived on the rancheria. She was born there. And when I see Indian people tearing at each other like this, and it's bad, it's really bad. You don't see it, but I see it. I see both sides. I see all sides. And it's really, really sad that the reason this happened is because of your history was so incomplete. Your history starts at 1849. It's only the history of the colonists. Mm-hmm. I even asked Mr. Cottrell, he's supposed to be one of your great historians. He didn't know. Wyckoff didn't know. It just got buried. And so I believe the Sayacum Corporation, my people, I'm so ashamed that they're doing this.
Judith, I just
Because
want to
I'm a part
note,
of
thank you
this.
so much. It is important, and we're
Am I
we're
over?
time.
Or was
Yeah.
that, I thought I still had 40 days. Well, I just want to apologize, and I will leave this here. This is material that you need to have. Just real quickly, the yellow page is to separate all the sort of anthropological. This is the part, the front, is what you really, really need. But like I say, I don't think anything's going to help.
Thank you, Judith. Is there any more public comment in the room of items not on the agenda? All right, moving on. We are going to move on.
There is nobody in Zoom.
There you go.
There's
Thank
no
you.
participants.
I already knew that. Moving on to the consent agenda. All items listed under the consent agenda are considered to be routine in nature and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items. I'm looking for a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar.
I move that we approve a motion. I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Great. I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Great, motion carries. Moving on to business. We are first going to look at consideration of a request from Magic Lantern Corporation, DBA, Nevada City Film Festival for monetary sponsorship in the amount of $2,500 for the Nevada City Film Festival and for fee waiver of $1,130 for use of Pioneer Park Bandshell and adjacent field for the Movies Under the Pines outdoor film exhibition on June 23rd, July 7th, and July 28th, 2023. Take it away, Mr. Grayson.
Thank you. Jesse Locks from the Nevada City Film Festival is here tonight. And so the request you already read, it's a request for $2,500 sponsorship for the film festival. That's the same amount you recently did for the Wild and Scenic Film Festival. It is an amount we budget for in our community agency portion of our budget. Also asking for fee waivers, which represent half of the fees associated with the movies Under the Pines. Last year it was 6 movies. This year it's 3 movies. So you can't divide 3 evenly by 2, but it's half of those total fees. That's consistent with what the council has done in previous years as well. And with that, I'll turn it over to Jesse to share with you about the film festival.
Hi, Jesse, welcome.
Thanks for having me. So 23rd Annual Nevada City Film Festival. We just had our comedy nights the first weekend of April, and we brought over 450 people to town, and it was just a fantastic event. So the film festival started out as a filmmakers film festival, and it's grown into this international independent film fest. We were just recently ranked number 9 in the United States by US Today, so that's very exciting, dubbed the Sundance of the Sierra. In addition to doing the film festival, we do have the Movies Under the Pines, which is our outdoor movie series that we have in Pioneer Park in Nevada City. Very family friendly, super fun. It's definitely a highlight, I think, for a lot of children and their families. We've been doing it now, I believe this is going to be our 11th year. So definitely a highlight for local friends and families and kids. But also one thing that we see quite a bit now is we're bringing a lot of folks up from the greater Sacramento area. So we're able to track all that information via our ticket sales and with the zip codes attached to the credit cards. And so, we've got some great information on folks that come up, travel at least 50 miles to visit the festival and all of the other events that we have throughout the year, and the amount of money that they spend here. And I think that that was all included in the packet. So you can see that the impact that the arts have is pretty great. And also happy Arts, Culture, and Creativity Month in the state of California. So if you have any questions about the film festival or Movies Under the Pines, we're very excited to continue on with the great work that we do.
Great, Jesse. Thanks so much. Can you stay up there for some comments and questions? Also, congratulations to you and to us on number 9 by USA Today. That's exciting. All right, we're going to go. Is there any public comment first in the room? All right. And what about online, Gabby?
We do not have any.
All right, council, questions, thoughts, comments?
So a couple of things. I did note, and I'm of course happy to see the movies cut in half. I know how important it is to you, and I know how much fun it is. But I did note that our staff report says 3 movies, but your materials associated with it said 6 movies still, and it may be just a carryover from last year. I'm not sure.
Just a carryover from
Yeah,
last
okay.
year.
And the other one is to our city manager, and though I'm happy to waive the noise measurement fees, I assume we are not waiving the noise measurement itself.
Correct. Chief Foster, actually, his staff will be out there for all the events that are amplified sound, unless they're, just a little tiny speaker amplified sound this year, and that'll include all 3 of the movies Under the Pines.
And I remain concerned because the movies were last year the loudest event in the park by far, and they also run later, which we're happy to do. We understand the issue of timing and twilight and everything else, but it does generate a later, louder impact than anything that we experienced last year. So I just want to make sure that we keep it in alignment with the city rules and regulations. But I'm happy to support the event. You're doing great work, and I'm happy that we're working things out.
All right, anybody else?
Just speaking from personal experience, I love watching movies outdoors on that screen. And it's a great way to have a picnic with friends and neighbors. So, thank you.
I've said before, I think a city our size having 2 super legit film festivals is unheard of. It's something I'm very proud of that we've got going. I think if Nevada City was actually unheard of, it'd probably be easier to park here. But we set our priorities for this council, and support of the arts and culture, vibrancy, and support of our businesses. was part of that, and this is both of those things, and I'm very happy to support this. What, do we know what the 3 movies are going to be?
They're all animation this summer. So, yeah, so it should be fun. So hand-drawn, anime, and then old school Pixar.
Very cool.
Yeah, so it
Wow,
should be
old
very,
school
very.
Pixar. Does that make you
I
feel
know.
old?
That makes us old.
Well, what have you done to us, Jesse? You did have my support, and now, cool. Thank you.
Jesse, thanks so much. I was going to ask what the movies are. Do you have titles for us?
Yes, so the 23rd is going to be The Iron Giant.
I love that
So
film.
that should be a great movie, and that's opening night of the film festival, and so that is definitely, to coincide with all the activities and make sure that we have like a family-friendly event in the film festival itself. Then we also have an anime that we're still working on, and then we also have another like CGI animated, so we'll have artwork next week, so it'll all come to be.
Great, you're keeping us in suspense.
Yeah, pretty much. Iron Giant, yeah, yeah.
Great, thank you so much, Jesse. I'm looking for a motion to approve and authorize the sponsorship and fee waiver.
I move we approve and authorize the sponsorship and fee waiver.
I second that.
Great, we have a motion and a second. Gabby, Madam Deputy Clerk, may we please have a roll call?
Councilmember Cece.
Yes.
Councilmember Klein.
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fernandez.
Yes,
Passes 4-0.
great. Thanks so much. Easy. Number 8, consideration of a contract with Cal Poly Humboldt Sponsored Programs Foundation to develop a cannabis equity assessment and program in an amount not to exceed $30,000. Take it away, Mr. Grayson.
Awesome. So late last year, we submitted a grant to the California Governor's Office of Economic Development, which is actually a real thing. So if you get an email from them, it's not a scam. It's commonly referred to as Go Biz, which does sound more like a scam. But that is their kind of like Caltrans is California Department of Transportation. Go Biz is the Governor's Office of Economic Development. They are the recipients of funds that go towards program development for the Cannabis Equity Grant Program. And what we applied for was, most people call a planning grant, they call it Type 1 grant. And so this item before you is a contract with Cal Poly Humboldt Sponsored Programs Foundation. Don't be confused, that's Humboldt State to all of us that, before they started calling everything Cal Poly. To do first, a cannabis equity assessment for our city, our community, and the businesses that are involved in cannabis, legal cannabis in our community. And second, based on the assessment, to develop a cannabis equity program for the council's consideration. The goal in all of this is that we would be eligible then to apply for Type 2 grant funding, and that is grant funding that can directly go to those that are working in the cannabis industry or seeking to lower the hurdle to gain entry into the cannabis industry. It can come in the form of direct grants. It can come in the form of forgivable loans or low interest rate loans, and a variety of other mechanisms that the council could choose to do based on the ordinance that you would adopt to implement the program. So Cal Poly Humboldt's done a number of these assessments and program developments, including Nevada County's equity assessment a couple years back. Clearly, the legal cannabis industry has seen challenges for a number of years across the boards, but I would say that it continues to be a good partner in Nevada City, generating both revenue and overall goodwill. I'd also note that in addition to taxation, legal cannabis has brought quite a bit of financial resources to the city, including the recent award of the Cohort 3 Prop 64 grant, which will be $3 million to Nevada City over the next 5 years. That's all generated from the taxation of cannabis at the state level. So tonight we're looking for approval to award that contract as really a step one in supporting our local cannabis industry, and we certainly look forward to other similar grants for other industries Go Biz has other opportunities that will be coming for retail and restaurant sectors, and then hopefully hospitality in the future as well. So to the extent that we can leverage any of those and/or whatever else the council and/or business committee, who are both here this evening, might support, we're happy to do that. So looking for your support on this item.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. City Manager. Is there anyone in the room that might want to give public comment on this?
My feeling is someone's going to want to say something. Oh, whoa.
Hello, welcome.
Good evening, City Council members.
Welcome back.
Thank you. My name is Diana Gamzon, and I'm the Executive Director of the Nevada County Cannabis Alliance. And I'm here to speak in strong support of this item. This is something that has helped many different jurisdictions. Nevada County was recently awarded $700,000 for a equity program. Following, they did their equity assessment, which is this Tier 1 financing, which you will hopefully be approving today and tonight. And then there's the Tier 2, which Sean outlined, which is the funding of the actual equity program. And what this grant, or what this program does is it directly is to help people that are from disadvantaged populations, but so the LGBTQ population, folks who may have a disability, female-owned businesses, minority-owned business, or majority-owned businesses, and overall, one of the main points, or one of the main goals of this program and why this program was developed was to help businesses and individuals who have been impacted by the war on drugs. And this is really, really important because this is the state of California acknowledging that there, in fact, was a war on drugs and that it impacted people through convictions, through raids. In our community here in Nevada County, a lot of people experienced raids in the 80s and 90s, and that in all over, especially rural farmers in Humboldt and Mendocino, people were impacted by the war on drugs. And so I want to read a quote that sort of brings this back to why this equity grant is important and what it means. I'm going to read a quote from 1968, and this was an advisor to Richard Nixon on the Drug Enforcement Agency. You want to know what this war on drugs was really all about? We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war or black. But by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did. So that's what this is about. This is the state of California acknowledging that the war on drugs was real, and these are reparations back to those communities. So that's why this is important, and that's why the industry is seeking your support. And thank you so much, Sean, for proactively seeking this grant, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Diana, for that really important historical assessments and the effects that we still have today from it. All right, any other public comment in the room or on Zoom?
Nobody on Zoom.
Nobody on Zoom. Okay, I am looking for a motion. Oh, yeah, Council, you have some thoughts? You have some comments? Would you like to speak?
Yeah, it's a little
Please
random
do.
tonight, but first I thought GoBiz was one of the media companies in succession, but I think I was confused. So a couple, and I also want to say that, having spent a bit of time over in my younger years around Humboldt State, this is totally the appropriate university to take up this line of business. My favorite quote on the drug war is from an author named Don Winslow, who wrote extensively about it. And this was after, I think, one of the Bushes declared victory on the war on drugs. And he said that drugs are now more plentiful, stronger, and more deadly than ever. It's a good thing we didn't lose that war. And that's, I ran airports for many years with the camp projects, with the sheriff's departments in helicopters, just swooping in on people, and it was just, so, it's interesting, I did not know that it was an effort to address those inequities, but it's certainly not a pretty part of our history. So, I'm done.
Thank you, Councilmember Peterson. Anyone else?
I appreciated Diana's comments as well.
Always.
Thank you. All right, I'm looking for a motion.
I move we approve the contract.
I second that.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Deputy Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Cece.
Yes.
Councilmember Klein.
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson.
Yes.
And Vice Mayor Fernandez.
Yes.
Passes 4-0.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Easy. Item number 9, consideration of resolution number 2023-16, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Nevada City, California, authorizing submission of an application for funding under the Local Housing Trust Fund Grant Program, certifying use of a future award of Local Housing Trust Fund, LHTF in acronym, in case we don't have enough acronyms, in accordance with applicable state and federal statutes, rules, regulations, and laws regarding the LHTF program, compliance with and all contracts with the California Department of Housing and Community Development, HCD, complying with matching requirements under the LHTF award, and authorizing the Western Nevada County Regional Housing Trust Fund to act as trustee in connection with the funds on eligible projects, and authorize appropriation of $10,000 of American Rescue Act ARPA funds to be used as matching funds for the LHTF application. Mr. Grayson, tell us what the heck all that means.
And bravo for getting through it.
Yeah, good job, Daniela.
So yes, that's maybe one of our longest titles ever, but in 2018, the voters of California approved Prop 1, which got us the acronym of LHTF. So that's grant funding under the Local Housing Trust Funds program, and it provides matching grants to local housing trust funds. So in 2020, Grass Valley, Nevada City, and the county entered into an MOU to administer the Western Nevada County Regional Housing Trust Fund, which has an awesome acronym of WNCRHTF.
7-letter acronym.
Yeah,
Wow, that's very good.
which is actually
Lucky
easy.
Strike means fine
It's faster
tobacco.
to say Western Nevada County Regional Housing Trust Fund. At the same time, the board from the county authorized a permanent local housing allocation plan, which was a requirement, and it pledged that the funds from the 3 member agencies, both cities and the county, for the next 5 years would be allocated to the Western Nevada County Regional Trust Fund. And it's used for pooling of resources for affordable housing projects. And ultimately, the first iteration of the award of that loan, they put that money in there. We got matching funds back from the state, so basically doubled our investments. The first project was Cashin's Field, which has been delivered. They're currently reviewing proposals for their second award. And now the state has released a notice of funding for the next round, and it's a quick turnaround time. It's due May 17th. On May 9th, the Board of Supervisors will hear this item, and they are allocating $500,000 from their general fund and $500,000 from their county's ARPA allocation to be used as matching funds. They offered the opportunity for Nevada City and Grass Valley to do the same, and not the same amount. Well, I'm sure they would take it. But it would fall under all the same requirements. Basically, it'll go into the fund. It'll be matched through the state program, and it'll go to affordable housing projects in some fashion. I think in the past we did not put any money of cities money into this process. And while there's no guarantee that the next project will be in Nevada City, there is no doubt that it will be beneficial to Nevada City and to the greater Western Nevada County, in the housing demand, whether it be for people that work in Nevada City but can't live here yet to be able to live closer, or whether it be, for people that are aging out of desiring living, in the home that they own and want to move into, affordable senior living. There's going to be an ongoing need for this. So the real reason at $10,000 this is before you tonight is because my request is that you would authorize the use of ARPA funds, which are not budgeted for this purpose. For this, I think it matches well with what the county is doing with theirs. And for those that would say $10,000 can't really go that far, matched, it makes $20,000, and you're 10% of your way to a unit being constructed in the next project. So, year over year, this can have a pretty profound impact in a city that is only 3,334 people. So, with that, all those acronyms and everything put together, one thing that could potentially be a project that could be funded out of this in the future in Nevada City would include the city-owned property on Zion Street across from SPD and right behind Dave Robinson's shop that was here with us this evening for the in memoriam. That location could be the benefactor or the recipient of these funds for a future project. No guarantees, but certainly something that we'll look for in the future. But with that, I would request that you do everything that it says in there, which is Resolution 2023-16, adopt the resolution, but important for the council to authorize the ARPA appropriations for the WNCR-HTF, 7-letter acronym.
Elemental P. Got it. Thank you so much for that, Sean. Do we have any public comment in the room or online?
We do not.
No? Okay. Council, thoughts, questions, comments, concerns? Yes, Mr. Cece.
So the city puts money in. Who eventually gets it?
So it goes into the trust, the matching funds come back into the trust. The county is the overall administering agent of the trust. So if you'll see, if you read the entire resolution, you'll see that Mike Dent from the county is the single point of contact for the entire thing, and that's what was established in the MOU that the council previously approved. When they do release funds, they put it out as a request for proposals. Developers will come in and say, this is the project that we would like to do, this is how much it would cost, this much how much we would like out of the program. Those programs are all graded and evaluated. We always have a seat at the table during that evaluation process, the one that's underway right now. Our city planner, Amy Wolfson, was grading. There were no Nevada City site location applications in that one. And so that is kind of how it flows, and then ultimately they'll award it to someone, a project from the applicant. So in the future, the city could be an applicant, a nonprofit that was like what happened with Cashins Field, owner, developer, operator could apply, and then this has also been proposed to be used for other things, including like the Lone Pine development and others in down Penn Valley, things like that. Lone Oak, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There's no pines down there.
Lone Pine is Eastern Sierra.
So it's a developer at the end of the line.
At the end of the line, it is the developer of a low-income housing project that would be the recipient of the funds, yes.
But we have a say in who that is.
Right. Yeah, we get to grade we're part of the process to grade those proposals and select.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Councilmember Cece. Because when I read something like this, it's always what's in it for us, it's a really important question to ask. I think it's important for us this is a nominal fee, really, but it's important, especially when you consider housing, but it's important for us to be at the table in a meaningful way. And I think this accomplishes that, and it's a good start. And ultimately, I think the way that we're configured in the Western County, that wherever that housing gets built, we will all benefit in some way, shape, or form. And then we, of course, I think we'll be, through the housing and everything else, looking at projects ourselves that would qualify for this. So I think it's important to be at the table in a meaningful way, and I would absolutely support this.
Great.
Yeah, just like I said about the film festival, stuff. We said that arts and culture and our local businesses were important to us, and we acted on it. And resoundingly, the city itself told us that housing was very important to us. So I'm just delighted that we're doing things that we said we wanted to do.
Go us. Look
Yeah.
at us. We're doing things.
Aren't we neat?
Great. All right. I have no new comments to add. I think you guys covered the gamut for sure. I'm looking for a motion to adopt the resolution and authorize the ARPA appropriations.
I so move.
Second?
Great. We have a motion and a second. Madam Deputy Clerk, please do us the honor of a roll call.
Councilmember Cece.
Yes.
Councilmember Klein.
Yes.
Councilmember Peterson.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Fernandez.
Yes.
Passes 4-0.
Fantastic. Look at that. And we are all the way down to the city manager and council member reports and future agenda items. City manager, would you like to give us your report?
Sure, back to me. This afternoon, we had a luncheon here at City Hall. It was my anniversary luncheon. I've been here a little bit more than a year. Another way to say that is it's the I Didn't Get Fired taco bar, and it was really good. I appreciate the council members, planning commissioners, employees, and others that came out to visit today. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, I love this town, and there's a reason why I came back, but at the end of the day, it's a good opportunity to, support the men and women that actually do the work every day here and take care of the city, and whether it's plowing snow or, cutting paychecks or whatever else the work is that's needed to be done. Those are the folks that get it done every day. And, I love working with this team and really appreciate the opportunity to have been here more than a year, and hopefully we have a lot more of those Taco Tuesdays on a Wednesday. For the folks watching at home and the council's benefit, if you're going to go walk out on the Tribute Trail, like I did early this morning, you're going to notice that parts of it are closed in rotating areas for the next couple of weeks. We're doing some safety tree work out there. There'll be signs that indicate in the places that it's closed. All of that work is FEMA reimbursable work that comes from the first winter storm we had with the rains before the snow, and so largely involves removing trees. For folks that love budgets, and you should, because the city is budget constrained, but certainly has a growing opportunity to better serve the community through a better budgeting process. Our budget workshop will be next Wednesday, May 3rd, right here in council chambers. And so where we will unveil, the framework for what will be another good balanced budget, adding, services and service delivery to the community. Love anybody that has an opinion, good, bad, or indifferent, to show up for that. And lastly, parcel inspections for our defensible space ordinance or vegetation management, whatever you want to call it. We'll inspect all the parcels in the city relative to the new ordinance that the council adopted, and those inspections start next week. We've put out some press releases and some information. There's things online. We'll be mailing things to all the addresses so that people can see what the checklist and what they'll be inspected against. The biggest thing, though, is we are really not looking to, fine anyone, enforce anything. We're looking for a partnership and to work with the community to find ways to bring fire safety to the forefront and improve the overall, fire safety aspect of everyone's parcel. So appreciate the Fire Safety Advisory Committee, both the members from the council as well as the members from the community, and getting us to this point. It's a good start. We have a long way to go, but that all starts next week and May 1st every year in perpetuity. And that's all I have for you this evening, Madam Vice Mayor.
Thank you so much. Council members, jump on in. Tell us what you've been up to.
What have I been? I will reiterate, with June 3rd at the Rood Center, we're doing another green waste drop-off along with large item drop-off and e-waste drop-off. Hopefully we'll get some volunteers from the council and the planning commission and the fire safety advisory committee again, because that was weirdly fun and exhausting last time.
Councilmember Klein, can you define large items?
Weirdly fun.
I don't want him to define weirdly fun, just large items.
I would define, no, that joke's not going to work. Sean, would you help me define large sofas and whatnot?
I'd give an example, an upholstered love seat.
An upholstered love seat is what I hear, a large item.
Great.
Yeah, it doesn't fit.
Are you
doesn't fit in your
collecting
tote.
mattresses?
They do mattresses up at the I'm
Res-
supposed to say dump anymore, right? What's it called?
The McCourtney Road Transfer Station.
Yeah, the McCourtney Road Transfer Station.
That's far from the Rood Center.
They'll take your mattresses. I don't know if they're doing mattresses at this event, the June 3rd event. I think it's,
It will be on the flyer.
okay. it'll be-
Definitely no tires, maybe no mattresses.
Yeah,
Got it.
But
All right,
sofas
so
and love
Look
seats.
out for the flyer.
But sofas and love seats.
yeah, keep an eye out for the flyer.
Got it.
Furthermore, tomorrow I'm going on a tour with the Nevada County Economic Resource Council of different businesses around the county, including a stop in Nevada City, which I'm excited about. And I hopefully will have something to report back about that experience.
Great. Tell us what happened at the Vibrancy Committee meeting.
You were there.
I was there, yes.
We got stuff. I think we're getting balls rolling, is what I would say.
Great.
Do you agree with that in terms of public art ordinance and so forth?
We are closer. I would not use the term balls rolling, but
Now, why is that?
I think we are getting closer.
We're getting closer, is what I am saying. Gary, help!
All right, let me step in here. Couple of things. Along with the comments that Sean made about getting things done, we're also, many of us, active regionally on a number of boards. In the last week, I attended LAFCO, the Local Area Formation Committee, and which was an assignment I didn't want to take because I thought it would be boring. And now we're in the middle of the Rough and Ready Fire District dissolution.
It's important stuff. Please make sure you're in the microphone, sir.
It's important, so I speak into the microphone. It's going to become very interesting as we begin to look at that and work through that. Also attended my first Pioneer Energy Community Aggregate Power Agency board meeting, which is really fascinating. It's an 11-member board, and it has Grass Valley and Nevada City are the new members, but we have El Dorado County, Placer County, a number of cities. So it's really we're really showing up regionally, which I think is really, really important because of a lot of money that comes regionally, how we work with our other jurisdictions. I think is critical to our own success, and it's not something that Nevada City has always done a lot of. So how we show up, we are the county seat, how we show up, things like putting money on the table, showing up as contributing to the larger decision-making is really important, and I'm happy to do that. I also wanted to speak to Earth Day, which I thought was a fantastic event on Sunday downtown. I think it was wonderful for a lot of reasons, although it did appear to be more of a local event than it didn't draw people from a lot of areas. I think it will eventually. One of the great things about it was, you took the month of April, which there's really nothing going on, and we have an event there now. And so it was quite fun. And the other thing I would say is I did attend the lunch today, and as I often like to say, despite this council's best effort, we did get the right guy. It's great to, I was reflecting a lot today on this year that since you've been here. And as you articulated, as we are very active. We are delivering on our strategic plan. We're walking our talk. We're doing great as a council. We've realigned the planning commission. So everything is really moving. And we have a budget. So I'll leave it at that. A lot of good stuff.
Great.
I would like to thank the council this evening for, I guess it's confirming Nancy Weber's appointment to the Fire Safety Advisory Committee. Nancy has been a stalwart in fire prevention, and to have her wisdom and her tenacity on the council, on the committee, is going to be valuable. I've been attending the Seven Hills business meetings, the Chamber of Commerce. They're moving ahead with designing a new logo for that area and defining what the area is. I look forward to further developments in that. Gary, the parking survey is still active, is it not?
I believe it still is, and I think we're looking at something coming back to us when, Sean?
I may or may not have seen a preliminary draft that internally we will review and get back with the consultants on, and hope by probably the end of next week or the week after to be looking to schedule an infrastructure committee meeting to review that draft.
Good, because the downtown merchants were really interested in
Yes.
that.
Yeah, there's a lot of interest showing up on that.
And we'll keep the survey open for as long as we have the consultants, because we can always refresh the data and see if it makes any material change with what's added. And sometimes the things you add at the very end can make a big change, especially in a relatively small town.
And finally, my own contribution, who taught this man how to speak? My own contribution to the city's vibrancy is my being cast in Guys and Dolls. And I'm already getting questions on when is the production. So we have this little card that shows when it opens and when it runs. So I'm handing this out to all of you in case anyone asks.
And council member, I believe that you're also contributing by doing a book reading in the very near future.
Yes, sir. On June 10th, I'll be doing a public book reading of my latest novel, Leave Me Not Alone, and it'll be at this new facility here at 425 Broad Street headquarters, run by Richard Thomas. And it'll be an hour-long reading, but not continuous.
I was going to say, really?
Yeah. It's an hour-long program of my reading excerpts from the novel, especially as it relates to contemporary events. Even though the novel is set in the late 1960s and early 70s, the issues of gender identity and censorship of libraries is still quite current.
Thank you, Councilmember. And for those of you that are home and cannot see these cards, the production of Guys and Dolls opens July 13th. All right, what a grand crew we have here. My updates are, please keep an eye out at Ubaseo Gallery, the Nisanan Gallery in town. They have a new exhibit coming up May 13th, just telling you to mark your calendar, save the date. I also attended the Earth Day celebration. I was asked to do the land acknowledgement, which felt like an honor to be there and open it up with that. And I'm just really grateful for the Chamber for the second annual Earth Day. It expanded from last year. It was so successful last year that we expanded to Broad Street, and I thought it was a great turnout. It's a fun day. I agree with Gary. It was very local, and that felt nice. And last Monday, I was in Sacramento and attended the first ever Arts and Culture Summit put on by Californians for the Arts. What a great day of a collection of artists, arts administrators, and policymakers, and just really, really getting all those people in the room talking about how important arts are in driving economics of a place, of a town, and not just economics, but the culture, and all sorts of things. So that was really great. That was the first ever. I'm excited for next year already for the second. And that's it. Anybody leave anything out?
Almost definitely.
All right, I'm looking for a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
I second.
Great. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? All right.